Hey guys, so we're gonna continue our modal interchange kind of video series. Last time we did modal interchange, but focusing on majors. So we had major as the home key, and then we also borrowed from major chords, and we did this because borrowing major chords kind of makes the sound more abstract and modern. But this time we're gonna try minor. So we're gonna try borrowing minor chords. Okay, so there's one example. So we have the boring like 1 6 2 5 1, right? So like there's that. But then we can change it a little bit. We could do like C. So we could do like C, and then we could do. So we could do C, and then we could do like F sharp minor flat 5, D minor 7 flat 5 over F, E minor 7, A7, D minor 7, G7, C. So the main thing here is the F sharp minor 7 flat 5 and the D minor 7 flat 5 over F that I did. So if I play it kind of a different way, you could do like it's a really nice sound. Now D minor 7 flat 5 over F can actually sound like F minor 6. So if I just play the chord, so this is D minor 7 flat 5. And then it's over F, so this G comes up. This is also F minor 6, because F minor and then this is the 6th. So they kind of sound the same. They sound the same. Okay, another example maybe of borrowing minor chords could be like C major 7, so C major 7, B minor 7, borrowed from Lydian, C major 7 again, F minor 7, borrowed from Aeolian. Okay, those are just a couple first examples. You can try interchanging from a lot of different modes or from a lot of different chords and try just a wide variety of stuff. Now, there is a modal interchange chart where it kind of gives you like all the modes and then the diatonic chords. It's good to have that chart memorized so you can just pull it out kind of in your head whenever you want to. And it is good to try random stuff, but it's also good to analyze pieces that you like the chords of. So if you are listening to something and you really like the chords of that piece, try to figure out what chords that piece has and analyze it a little bit. Now, right now we have a major home key, like C, but we're borrowing minor chords, when in last video we borrowed from major chords. So something that's a little bit too abstract or too kind of weird sounding is having a minor home key and borrowing from major chords. I don't know why that is. I don't know exactly what is behind that. But if you hear it, it kind of sounds weird, even though we can easily have a major home key and borrow minor chords like we are right now. So if we have like or like it just sounds like you just jumped out of nowhere. Now that might change because people make like new things and stuff. But like for now it sounds a little bit too abstract for most ears. Now, when it comes to minor modal interchange, it feels the most comfortable to borrow from modes that feel like minor. For example, like Dorian or Phrygian or Locrian. So let's try borrowing from Dorian. So if we just do like a minor 2-5-1, but then if we borrow from Dorian and actually make this D minor 7 flat 5 just a D minor 7, so we're borrowing from Dorian here, then it would sound like. So that sounds very different. I'll do another side-by-side comparison for you. And then borrowing from Dorian. So there are ways to make this more or less abstract sounding. If you want to make it more abstract, you can kind of contrast the E and the E flat. So when you have like C minor, but you transition, there's that E, right? Because that's the ninth. But then, so this makes it more abstract sounding. But if you don't want to make it abstract sounding, then just don't include that. So for example, if I don't want to have it be abstract, like here I didn't include the E, but then if I want to make it abstract, I could do like. So it all depends on what you like better. Another thing a lot of people do is instead of doing a minor 2-5-1, you kind of start with a major 2-5-1 and then kind of trick them at the end with a minor. So if we were to do a minor 2-5-1, it would be like. But then we can start with a major 2-5-1 and then trick them at the end. So like. Or I'm gonna redo that because I think this made it sound more minor. So if you really want to trick them, you could do like. Like that. Okay, so I want to show you my first example. This dude, his name is Tom Misch, and he wrote a song called It Runs Through Me. And this is kind of bossa nova, but in a modern or popular way. And Tom, he studied jazz and then went to an art/producing high school and then went to jazz guitar college. But after he made this, it blew up. His album blew up so hard that he had to quit college. Yeah. He also had a background in classical violin. Anyway.
One, two, three, four.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the chords that he played here. So he went B minor 7, D7, G major 7, F sharp dominant 7. But the thing about jazz, it's like the difference between jazz people and pop people Jazz people put variations in the chords. So in pop music, it's just the same 4 chords repeated throughout the whole song, or at least throughout the chorus or whatever. But jazz people, they put variations. So that's just the first variation. I'm gonna play the 3 variations that he has here. So the first one is like. That's the first one. The one that I just played like before. But then he goes. C sharp minor 7 flat 5. But then he later goes. C sharp minor 7 with no flat 5. This is C7. So the C7 comes from tritone substitution, which I think I'll get into in a later video. But basically there's a lot of variations. So another example that I want to show you is this jazz vocalist. We haven't seen a jazz vocalist. Her name is French.
Pronouncenames.com.
Her name is Cyril Aimé. And the piece that what I want to show you is Nuit Blanche. That was so bad. Nuit Blanche. Okay.
Je salue les mains dans les poches, le cœur dans la gorge. Une semaine m'a semblé un an. Il s'assit tout à côté de moi. Ma peau commence à brûler et je cache mes joues rouges. Ses yeux s'allument, je fais la.
So I'm gonna skip to her improvisation. Okay. Okay. So, did you guys notice anything about this song? It has the same chords as Tom Misch. So, the chords from Tom Misch, recall, for this. Okay, so I'm gonna play a snippet of her solo again, and then I'm gonna say something about it. I'm including that. Okay, so just now, so this was the part where it's C sharp minor 7, F sharp 7. So just now, she soloed on these chords. So she went. Okay, this this is how we know that she knew it was a C sharp minor 7 without a flat 5. Because if it was this, if it was a C sharp minor 7 flat 5, this is not possible because we borrowed this from Locrian. And Locrian doesn't have this note. So she would have to do like, but she did this, which means it is entirely possible to have a minor 7 flat 5 with a sharp 9, but we're borrowing this from Locrian, so it wouldn't make sense for her to use this because this note isn't in Locrian. Okay. You should also listen to her cover of Just the Two of Us. So listen to that. So we borrowed from Dorian, and now we're gonna try borrowing from Locrian. So we could do something like C minor, E flat minor. This isn't a huge change, just that the sol turned to a se. So like sol. This I think is in Arabian Night. Okay, I think this was in Arabian Night, where it was like Arabian Night, na, 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 like that. So I think that song used Locrian to make that. Now I have a K-pop example. This is a K-pop group called EXO, and they have a song called Growl. And I'm gonna play it for you. Okay, so just now, the chords are pretty simple. It was just B minor, B minor, B minor, B minor, D minor, B minor. So the chords really don't have to be complicated. A lot of kind of K-pop idols, especially the male groups, they want to have kind of the vibe of being like cool, and so they use a lot of minor songs because minor is like cool. And they also have simple chord progressions because it's easier to make choreographies to that, as opposed to if the chords like constantly changing. But the chords are really cool. Yeah. So that's another example of borrowing from Locrian. Okay. Let me just do a little bit side-by-side comparison. So this we borrowed from Locrian. This is from B Locrian. But then if we didn't do that, it would be like... It's a very different vibe. And so this minor makes it a lot more cool. So... like that. So it's minor, minor. Now, we're gonna try to make, while still borrowing minor chords, make it sound major. But how are we gonna do that? Let's take this, for example. Didn't that sound more major than you thought? But that's because E, while it is minor, it's supposed to be E flat because in C minor, there's that E flat. So then when you're using this, it kind of sounds like the E flat turned to an E, which makes it sound like C major. Does that make sense? So like... Another example, so like in C minor, there's like also an A flat. So we could do like... change the A minor to an A. The A flat to an A. And then there's a third flat in C minor, and that's B flat. Except for this one, it's kind of like... This one is just kind of sounds like we're going a tone down, so it doesn't sound as major as we would think. Now, I have a little composition that I tried to incorporate this kind of like major-esque style. I found it kind of... It often... Whatever, okay. So this is just a little composition that I quickly whipped up that kind of has that major, but not really major thing in it. So like, it's very simple. So it's like... Okay, so the major, like, but not really major thing that I did was C minor 7 to E minor 7. Was I think the first example we talked about. So if I didn't do that, it would sound like... But it sounds like... So yeah. I think it can be hard to make this sound natural. But I tried to. So yeah. And this song is also in ABAC form, which is different from the other ones I did. I think I usually did ABBA. So that's also there. That's also that. That also exists. Thank you.